Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the PAC Chat. I'm Melanie Dragone, board member of NJPHIPAC, and tonight I'm joined by Rula Ballantyne, a fellow board member. The PAC Chat was created to give you, our community, the opportunity to meet influential people in New Jersey who share in our commitment to health freedom. So for tonight's PAC Chat, we have a special guest to introduce you to. Dr. Eric Saunders, a local New Jersey physician whose position at Valley Hospital here in Ridgewood has been terminated after his medical exemption and his religious exemption for the mandated COVID-19 vaccine were both denied. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. We're going to bring our guest, Dr. Saunders, on in a few moments. But for any new viewers this evening, I want to just give you a little bit background about NJPHIPAC and our mission here in New Jersey. So NJPHIPAC is a political action committee. We are an organization made up of passionate, experienced, and committed advocates who have come together in a grassroots fashion to help influence the political landscape here in New Jersey. I'm sure I can speak for many of us when it comes to policymaking in the state. We, the people, are left kind of feeling helpless and somewhat disempowered. I can imagine how those feelings may have been accelerated over the past couple of months, the last year and a half. And many of us are personally affected by the multitude of mandates being implemented and the freedoms that are being removed from us, the residents of New Jersey. So our goal in forming the PAC was to change that, to give you, the people, a seat at the table in an arena where it feels increasingly like we're not being heard as New Jersey residents. So how does the PAC work? Simply put, the PAC collects contributions from individuals like you, and those funds are then pooled to be implemented strategically to influence key campaigns here in the state, as we've discussed on our previous calls. And the PAC's primary goal is to seek candidates who align with our mission so they are able to advocate on our behalf in Trenton at the table and ultimately strengthen our rights and freedoms to get this state back on course. The PAC's mission, which is the foundation of what the PAC stands for, is to protect and strengthen the constitutionally guaranteed and fundamental rights of all New Jersey residents to make medical decisions for themselves and their families without coercion or constraint. That's our mission. And we simply believe that decision-making when it comes to health and medical choices should be left up to the individual. And we are working to help empower parents as well as fellow New Jersey residents to make informed medical decisions on behalf of themselves and their families. And with that, I'm going to pass things over to Rula so she can share a little bit about our endorsement process, especially for next week's election.
Good evening, everyone. Before we bring Dr. Saunders on, I wanted to explain what exactly an NJ5PAC endorsement means. NJ5PAC has developed a set of standards to measure whether a political candidate is eligible to receive an endorsement. This includes, but is not limited to, an NJ5PAC survey, their voting records, and their positions on matters that affect our mission. When NJ5PAC endorses a candidate, the endorsement is done with integrity and without bias. Our goal is to provide transparency around the candidates who meet this criteria and to be a resource to New Jersey voters in 2021 election, providing inputs around where votes and support are warranted. When you see an NJ5PAC endorsement, you can rest assured it is the best candidate for our collective mission. Our previous and future endorsements can be found on our website on njphipac.org/endorsements.
Thanks, Rula. And without further ado, I'd like to bring on Dr. Eric Saunders.
Hi, everyone.
Good evening, Dr. Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, Melanie.
Rula,
Thanks, Rula.
Thanks for
Rula
coming.
And I are honored.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you here and to share your personal experience as a New Jersey physician facing termination, specifically for your choice not to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. We want to extend our deepest gratitude to you for your courage to stand up against this medical coercion. For this issue is exactly why the PAC was created and exactly why we work every day, is to allow people to make informed medical decisions for themselves and not to be coerced. So Dr. Saunders, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your medical training, and how long that you've been employed at Valley Hospital?
Yes, I went to Hiram College. I had my medical school training at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. I did a one-year medical internship at the Greater Baltimore Medical Center. I did my residency in ophthalmology at Vanderbilt University in Nashville. I did a one-year LASIK laser vision correction in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I moved up to New Jersey in 2001. And I had staff privileges at the Valley Hospital, and I was working in private practice. It was called Ridgewood Ophthalmology. And I was there for about 15 years. And then roughly 5.5 years ago, our practice was sold to the Valley Medical Group. And so for the last 5.5 years, I've been working as an employee of Valley Hospital, Valley Medical Group.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your history. You're a very qualified physician. And so now we'd like to ask you to tell us about your personal story. Can you share with our viewers your familial history and what led you to feel so strongly about exercising your right to bodily autonomy as a physician?
Well, let me first start by saying, today was actually my last day. My employment has been terminated with the Valley Medical Group and Valley Hospital because I chose not to take the COVID vaccine, despite being denied religious and medical exemptions. So, I like to give an explanation, as I don't mind, as to, people say, why did you choose not to take the COVID-19 vaccine? Because a lot of people did. And some people may find the explanation rational, some not, but it kind of goes back to, literally before I was born, some almost 53 years ago. My mother, when she was pregnant with me, took a morning sickness drug, Bendectin. This was after the days when thalidomide had been pulled off the market in Europe for its birth defects. And basically I was born with truncated legs, or I say without legs. I'm almost positive because of this medicine that my mother took for morning sickness. Now she was innocent. I have no ill feelings toward her, but a lot of women were on this medicine. And so I found out about this probably in middle school. My mother decided to share it with me. And, it's obviously pretty shocking. I mean, I had a very good childhood growing up. I had loving parents. They were both ministers. So I was brought up in the church, the Disciples of Christ denomination. But, when my mother told me sort of why I was born without legs, it was kind of shocking. Because, before it was kind of like, well, we don't know. But when she told me, I mean, I was a little angry, not at her. And, it's part of the reason why I feel the way I do today. Not that all pharmaceuticals, vaccines, and medicines are bad, but knowing that I most likely was injured from a pharmaceutical, weighed into this consideration on whether or not I should take this particular vaccine. I don't mind saying that I've taken other vaccines, the standard childhood ones, polio, MMR, meningococcus, even the flu shots, all types of vaccines that have been studied thoroughly for years. So maybe it's not a logical explanation, but when the COVID vaccine came out, I do, as a medical doctor, I read about medicines and treatments, and I read a lot of research about the COVID-19 vaccine. And obviously, there's been good papers published and papers that say that there's problems and side effects. And I saw enough questionable issues with the vaccine that I just couldn't take it. Because of my religious upbringing, I prayed about it. And it just weighed so heavily that I've already been injured by a pharmaceutical. I just psychologically couldn't do it. And I know people would sometimes say, well, that's not rational, do some more research. But I decided after lots of thinking not to take it. And I just stood my ground. For a long time, some of my peers, bosses would say, we're mandating it, you have to take it at some point. I said, I'm not taking it. And, of course, eventually Valley mandated it, and they gave dates, and the dates got closer, and, are you going to take it? We don't want to lose you. And, at some point there was an ultimatum. And I said, I don't know how many times I can tell you, I've told you my story, I can't take it. And last week I got a letter basically saying, because you've chosen not to take it, you're in violation of our hospital policies for the COVID-19 virus. Because you're violating our policies, you're in violation of your contract. And as of November 4th, your position will be terminated. You will not be allowed to see patients starting November 1st. So essentially today was my last day because I chose not to take it. So that's why I didn't take it.
Yeah, so today is a very emotional day for you.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very emotional. I think I've cried out most of my tears, but I have a lot of friends who are patients and vice versa. And, I've sort of been telling people here and there my story, and they've been really supportive. Even my vaccinated family members and patients, they say, I'm vaccinated, and maybe some of them say, I wish you would just get it, but I don't support what Valley or whoever has told Valley. I don't support the mandates, and I don't support what they're doing to you. Near 100%, even my vaccinated patients. Some of them, that's outrageous, shocked. Some of them had no idea there were mandates. A lot of shocked patients, a lot of crying. I hope you stay in the area so I can come find you. And, I still want you to be my eye doctor. Overwhelming support.
Yeah. That's great to hear, because I think that you're affecting change. May not, partake in this vaccine, but, you still admire him and you still honor his ability to make that choice. And that's so important. And that's, a huge message that we try to bring to everyone, is that we want people just to make informed decisions, and the coercion and the mandates, are taking it to another level where people like yourself are being impacted, their lives, their families, their livelihoods. And I'm glad to hear that the people around you have been so supportive.
And let me just say, obviously, there have been a lot of people who have taken the vaccine in this area of the country, high rate, 2/3, 3/4 of the people. I respect that. I have never, and I will never bash anyone who says, I've taken it, I've had 3 doses, I believe in this vaccine, I think everyone should take it. I did my research, and I think the science is good.
Right.
I don't argue with them in a sense, because they've maybe prayed about it too, and they decided for them it was right. All I just say is I support your decision. I may not agree with some of the things you're saying, but for you've decided to take it, or you and your family have decided to take it. I respect your decision, and that's just really one of the things I'm asking, is that people respect my decision to not take it, and that I feel it's my choice. I really feel that everyone like me who knows about it, who's prayed about it, who's thought about it, should be allowed to decide whether or not for them it's the best. And to be mandated without accommodations and just say you must take it or you're fired, I think is really wrong. When I mention accommodations, for the past, for a while, I've been at work. The patients that come in are tested and screened. I keep social distancing, except in the 2 minutes where I'm face to face with them at the microscope. I have a mask on. I've been getting tested once a week. I go home. I mostly go home and go to work. I don't think I've had a fever or a symptom in anything in 2 years or more. It just baffles me that I'm suddenly contagious on November 4th, and that no accommodations were able to be made. The other thing that concerns me is that I know that other health systems in the area have been allowing, under my sort of circumstances, religious and medical exemptions to hold and accommodations to be made. And I don't understand why Valley can't do the same thing. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is that I hear is that Valley wants 100% vaccinated staff, 100%. And I mean, to do that, you have to fire people who haven't taken it, and you have to disallow these exemptions, and not accommodate them. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it seems that Valley has really taken a hard stance regarding the vaccines. They announced last week that as of November 1st, that as a visitor to a patient at Valley Hospital, that you would have to show proof of your COVID-19 vaccination.
Right.
Which is, very much alarming, because, that puts patients at a disadvantage not to have an advocate with them, due to their medical status. So in essence, they're discriminating against people who are not partaking in the COVID-19 vaccine.
It is discrimination.
And yes.
If you look,
the bigger concern
page,
is that
the Valley Health System, where they put that announcement up, if you read through the comments of the people and patients, it's 99%. You can't do this. How dare you discriminate? It's overwhelming concern and, quite frankly, anger. Soon after that, they attempted to come out with some other statement saying, "Oh, let us clarify. We're going to make exceptions." I mean, they really just restated what was in the same post. It's discrimination. It's very sad, and many of the people in the community are not happy with this. Even the vaccinated patients, many of them know that this is not right.
Yeah, and this is, our opportunity to, stand beside you and behind you to let you know that you are not alone and that you have a whole community of people here in New Jersey who stand for health freedom. And, we want to do everything we can to support heroes like yourself who are brave enough to, what we call hold the line,
Right.
and, not succumb to the coercion, and to, really listen to your heart and to the God that you pray to, that this is not something that you want. And, we honor that. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure it's clear that I'm not just here for myself. I could state my case, be quiet about it, make my appeals and claims, but I'm being public with this for a reason. I want to help other people that are in the same boat that I am, that are being discriminated against, and I'm sticking my neck out because I want to, because people know me. I'm generally a pretty quiet, mild-mannered person, and I can't be quiet about this. I almost think I was born to do this. I feel good about what I'm doing. I'm here to help. I mean, as many people as I hope everyone in the country listens to this, hears about it. I want it to resonate, because I'm hoping that other people like me will come forward and say, hey, you know what? I've been quiet about this, not anymore. And I want the vaccinated patients who to say, I'm vaccinated, but I'm not for the mandates, and I'm not going to be quiet about it. You can't do that to these people. There has to be a way that vaccinated and unvaccinated people, there's got to be a way to do things safely, and for us to get along, and for there not to be discrimination. There has to be a way to work it out without these mandates. And I'm trying to be a voice for the people that are uncomfortable speaking out.
I can't tell you what you are doing and the voice and how you're using your voice, how invaluable that is, because there are so many people who are simply afraid to speak up, right? It is not an easy thing to do. Okay. They say things, you hear, well, you have a choice. Well, not really, not for many people. Choice is, do you want chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Say yes or no, right? That's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
What a choice is not is telling someone, okay, you need to receive this vaccine or you lose your livelihood, you lose your job, you lose your career. That is no longer a choice. That becomes coercion, because something is being taken away from you for the decision that you make. And that is why we need to emphasize over and over again that this isn't true. This isn't about choice. You don't have a choice at the end of the day. Some people do not have the luxury of leaving their jobs, right? It is how they put food on the table for their family. It is how they pay for many other things. It's how they pay their daily bills, right? So what you are doing is so imperative, because, a lot of these stories are drowned, are censored, right? We know that you are not the only healthcare worker with a story like this, right?
Right.
But we are, we don't hear about it. The media doesn't cover your story the way it should, right? And people become discouraged because they think it won't mean anything, but it does. You don't know how your story today, Dr. Saunders, there might be another nurse, another physician watching and saying, this guy, I had the courage to stand up, to use his voice, to share his story. And even if you, and I always say this to my fellow board members, even if you change the mind of one person, or you encourage the one person in a room full of 1,000 people, then it's worth it, right? So
Right.
again, I can't emphasize how valuable what you are doing now is and the encouragement that you are giving to your fellow peers and healthcare workers just like you to hopefully do the same and unite and link arms with you.
Yes.
So thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing this because, not to be negative, but if not just me, if we don't stand up now, these types of things, these type of mandates, I'm not being negative, but I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. No one's going to be able to work, possibly. Kids not go to school. The limitation of freedoms is going to continue without accommodations. And if we don't make a stand, the time is right now to make a stand.
Right.
I'm even, I wish I'd spoken up months ago. I've been thinking, and I mean, I'm doing it now, but it's time. It's time to say no more.
And when we initially spoke, Dr. Saunders, one of the things that we discussed, I said, if everyone woke up tomorrow and did what you are doing today, this would be over tomorrow, right? This would be over. But that's
not
not
anything for that to happen.
Right. And there is a misconception, and you hear, well, if you just get, if you just wear the mask or if you just get the shot, things will go back to normal. But we have clearly seen that is not the answer. Things don't go back to normal, and the line and the freedoms keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
I mean, I even have vaccinated patients. They don't seem to, I respect that. And I say, in 6 months, there's going to be another one. And in a year, there's going to be a variant, and there's going to be another one. You mean I got to take another one? I thought, 2 or 3. We can all see the writing on the wall. So I'm not saying they're all going to or are bad. I'm just saying, I even have my vaccinated patients saying, really, I kind of thought we were just going to take a couple of these and we're done. So all I'm trying to do is get people to wake up and say, and just think, make your choice, but I want them to see what's going on. And I want them to see that why I'm standing up for what I believe. We have to say something now.
Right. And a big thing that we're not discussing and amongst healthcare professionals, and I don't know if you had COVID, is natural
immunity.
Not that I know
of.
Yeah. All right. And a lot of these frontline physicians and nurses who had COVID now have, and you were speaking about accommodations, right? Wearing a mask, social distancing. How about showing antibodies to people who have had COVID-19? These type of measures, right, or accommodations can be considered, and they are not. It's not scientific not to acknowledge natural immunity or what that means, right? So these type of things are being ignored, and we need to ask why. Why are they being ignored? Why are these policies in place that are so rigid? What's the answer? Why? Is an important question we should be asking.
And we deserve answers. Absolutely. Yep.
So Dr. Saunders, can you tell our viewers the best way that they can connect with you, to follow your story, to help support you?
I do some social media. I'm going to say, just because I've been on it so long, Facebook.
Okay.
If you're not sure how to find me on Facebook, there's a lot of Eric Saunders. Look under Eric Monroe Saunders, and you'll find me right away. It's a public profile, so you can friend me or not friend me. You can at least find and read my story. You can instant message me there. I don't mind, if you call me, or my email is ericmsaunders@hotmail.com. I am on Instagram, but not very much.
Yeah, we can find you on Facebook, and
yes.
we'll put the link to your Facebook page in the comments here, so people can find you as well. Because I think connecting you directly with with peers that are facing the same issues that you're rising up against is so important and significant, because we all need support and we need other people to, help us be brave in all of this chaos.
Yes, I agree.
And if there are any other physicians or nurses tuning in tonight, I want you to know that you aren't alone. There's people like Dr. Saunders who are willing to work together. We have a group called NJUMP, which stands for New Jersey United Medical Professionals. Okay. And this is a group of physicians, nurses, and like-minded healthcare professionals who can unite and support each other. So if you are interested in connecting with like-minded healthcare workers and physicians, please go to our website, njphipac.org. Please sign up and put in the comments that you are a healthcare worker who is interested in connecting with other healthcare professionals. And we will work to connect all of you so you do not feel alone in this issue.
Yes, definitely. And the next thing that everyone can do who's watching is to vote. We have early voting going on. The polls are open this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday on Halloween, and then Election Day on Tuesday. So to ensure that your health freedom is preserved here in New Jersey, we encourage all of you to check out the NJ5PAC voter guide that we just put out today. It's linked on our website, on our social media, and that's a list of all the state level legislators to vote for in each of the districts who we have vetted personally and who have committed to supporting and preserving bodily autonomy, informed consent, and overall medical freedom here in New Jersey. So I know, Dr. Saunders, that you met with one of our favorite legislators the other day. So do you want to talk about that quickly?
Yes, 2 days ago, Wednesday, I met with, I call him governor because he's going to be governor candidate Jack Chitirelli. An amazing guy. As many people as he had to shake hands with and talk with, I got at least a minute and a half of his time, which is a lot. And I told him all my bullet points, and he was so nice to me. He just looked me in the eye. He said, I'm going to help you and people like you, Eric. He said, I'm going to reverse these mandates. So I was so reassured to meet him. And, I met a lot of his staff. I met Frank Pilata, a lot of nice people helping him. The joy and the love that I felt there was so awesome. I kept saying to myself, he has to win. He will win. He's going to help us. It was a great experience. And I also told him, I said, however I can help you, to use my voice to help you win, you let me know. And sort of something like this is going to help, because we both stand for the same thing, freedom of choice. And that's why I'm going to vote for him. And I'm telling everyone I run into to vote for him. Why I'm voting for him. Tell your neighbors, family, friends, please consider your medical freedoms and how important that is. Regardless of what you feel about the other candidate, it's so important. You've got to get out there and vote. I think last election, 2/3 of the people didn't vote, and that blows me away. You've got to get out, get a ride, get out and vote. It's very important because the gap is narrowing. It's only a few days, and many of the past Republican governors that have won had a small gap to close, and they did. So, I don't want to hear things like, he's not going to win. He has a very good chance of winning. And I pray that he wins because, he's got a lot of support out there. I believe in my heart he's going to win. He has to win. He will win. It was a great experience.
We're so happy to hear that. We had very similar experiences with Jack. We have endorsed him right from the get-go, the day after he won the primary, and his support of health freedom and medical freedom has been unwavering throughout his entire campaign. But, in this election cycle, more than ever, it is imperative that we have strong representation in Trenton. Our future, as well as our kids' future, really depends on that and the outcome of this election. So, as mentioned earlier, the success of a PAC relies on contributions. Being a grassroots organization, we are by the people, for the people. Unlike pharmaceutical giants who have millions at their disposal, a PAC's efforts are a show of people, not just dollars. What we have is a movement of thousands whose passion to preserve our rights cannot be contained. In the eyes of legislators, contributors to the PAC equal voters. And that is a currency that money can't buy. Every contribution to the PAC shows the legislators that we are a voting bloc, and our concerns regarding health freedom in New Jersey should be taken seriously. Again, if you would like to become a member of the PAC or a contributor, please visit NJPHIPAC.org and make a contribution. No amount is too small. And again, I'd like to remind any of the healthcare workers that are watching this to please join our website, put a note that you are interested in connecting with like-minded professionals, and we will do our best to give you a supportive community. So thank you very much. Mel?
Yeah, sorry, I fell off there a minute. I don't know what happened. Did you ask Dr. Saunders the last question?
Which was?
What we ask all of our guests.
Yes. Oh, I did not. Okay. So this is the, Dr. Saunders, this is the $1 million question that we ask all of our guests on the PAC chat. What does health freedom mean to you?
It means being able to choose based on your circumstances, based on your medical conditions, issues, based on your religious and or philosophical or just personal deep-seated beliefs. Freedom to choose what's best for you. Freedom of choice. We want to be loved, respected, and accepted for what we choose. Being well thought out. If you don't have a choice, what kind of a society is that? We've deteriorated. It's maybe a cliche. It's what America is based on. And when you take away our freedom to choose, it's going to be a snowball effect. We have to stand up now. Let's all be able to choose what's right for us, our bodies.
Excellent answer, Dr. Saunders. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for.
Thank you, Melanie, and thank you, Rula. I really appreciate you having me here. It means a lot to me, and I'm very happy to help, and even going forward.
Great.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Thank you for being so brave, and thank you for being a voice for so many other people that you may have not even met yet and may be watching tonight. So thank you again, and we will stay connected. And have a great evening, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Please get out and vote because we need Jack to win. We all need him to win.
Yes.
So grab 10 friends, 20 friends, text them.
Did we lose Melanie?
Yes, no, I'm back. I don't know what's happening here.
We're good. We're at the end over here. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna play the end of this commercial and then we'll go in the backstage. All right.
Thank you all.